welcome to the Talking Parra League Tuesday night live show. And as you can see, I am absolutely fucking struggling. So this is going to be a great episode. You're not going to hear a lot out of me. You're just going to hear me ask a lot of questions. Look, before we get into why I've got no voice, I'd like to thank our sponsors, of course, as usual. Riverside Brewing Co. Time for a Chat. The CMS Trophies. Tony Mustafa Mortgage Choice. Tate Sports Card. Non-Stop Landscapes. BMA Trucking. Spot On Hose and Fittings. Eurowork. Xvisory. And, of course, Parra Leagues, who sponsor this podcast. Yep, it's getting worse. It's going great. At least I'm here for the start of the show this week. Don't know if I'll be here for the end, but we'll see how we go. But this is the result of when you've got to yell at a couple of blokes on the field to absolutely just do something. Don't just stand there with your hands on your hips. Do something. Earn your money. All right?
You bastards.
It was an overly good performance. I was pretty happy with it. As an improvement side. Defensively, we were great. Couldn't ice a couple of things, but I guess we did start to see a bit of the Jason Rolls error and a bit of that shape and I guess the gameplay what's coming in. Let me introduce everyone first of all, and then I'll go into the corner and hide very quietly. Matt Tate, mate, producer and call-up tonight. Welcome, Matt. Welcome to the big screen.
Thank you.
If we lose too many viewers, we know it's because we've got your face, not your voice. Hayden, still at Combank Stadium. Is it going well?
Still here, mate. Still here, waiting for a win.
Jason, I can see you survived your Sunday experience with Troy Warner sitting near you. First of all, how are you doing? Mentally okay?
Mentally, I told you. Hi everyone, my name is Jason. I'm a Parra fanatic. This is my group therapy session every Tuesday. Come along to the rants and the bants. It's great.
Lovely. Thank you, Jason. I'm glad you're doing okay. Now, Troy, before we get to how you're doing, there's something to address. There's been a photo emerge online, and I guess we just want to know what's doing. Now, you're taking photos of Ryan Madison. Is Ryan Madison taking photos of you? What is happening there, Troy? Like, I'm very confused. Can you talk us through this moment?
Well, I don't know what to say about that. It's obviously captured my better angle there. I don't know. I'm dumbfounded how that photo got out and what it's about. I don't know what's going on there.
Is that why Ryan Madison's out injured?
Mate, I honestly do not know. I'll have to get the lawyers onto that one if it's out there in social media land. But yeah, I got no idea.
Yeah, that's fair. It's always good when you're a bit speechless. It means we're going to have a shorter podcast. Now, Jack, you were missing last week. We've got to address some rumours. Firstly, where were you last Tuesday? Where did you tell us you were?
So contrary to belief, I was not getting the tattoo removed. We're in the process, but I haven't brought myself to do it just yet. I actually took my best mate to go watch Falling in Reverse live in Brizzy for his 21st birthday. So you guys were in my heart. I tried to jump on and watch the stream, no service, but I missed you. It's good to be back. I feel safe in this area compared to getting yelled at by all the other NRL fan bases around.
It's good to know you're a dipshit Queenslander because you're a fucking liar. And this is why. Your father sent you through this, and it appears the tattoo speaks. The tattoo tells the truth, and the tattoo predicts the future. And this is apparently what you had done.
Oh, I fucking He's got me. I have a guy who does on the fly jobs, depending on how I feel about Dylan Brown at the moment. It started with me pushing him towards Newcastle, and now it's me pushing him towards New South Wales Cup. So we'll see how we go in a couple of weeks. We might end up in New Zealand by the end of the year, so we'll see how we go.
It happens. The tattoo speaks. So let's see what the tattoo can predict. Maybe you should get like a Parramatta Premiers 2025 or 2026 or something. And see if it predicts that. But
I might just start getting things down my back and see how I go.
Yeah. Let's get to this first of all, guys. As we happened last week, every week we're giving away, we'll call it like a Joker draw. So last week we had a $50 voucher to give away. It didn't go off, so it's jackpot to $100 this week. So $100 Leagues Club voucher. All you got to do is share the podcast. Once you've shared the podcast, Just comment done. Matty will star it. At the end of it, we'll draw a name out. You've got 30 seconds to write that you're here. If you're not here, unfortunately, you don't win. We'll jackpot to 150 next week. So massive opportunity there. Make sure you tune in. Give it a share. Let us know when you've shared it, and we'll get to that at the end. Look, let's start with the game on the weekend now. Enough shit talk. We like to do a bit of that. 16-8 against the Bulldogs team. I thought were pretty ordinary. They really struggled to get their own end. Defensively, I thought we were very solid. Took a couple of obviously laps in defence, and there was a couple of tries. I don't think the first try should have been a try. It was a clear ball plant. Caught two of our players out of position in that regard. And their third try as well was a clear obstruction. But look, they weren't called, and you can't blame the referees when you get to create as many opportunities as we did, and we blew opportunities ourselves. So 16-8 loss. I'll go to you first, Troy. If you remember the game, remember watching the game, your thoughts on it?
Yeah, look, I mean, obviously I'm disappointed that we lost, but encouraged by the fact that it was a better performance than the previous 2 weeks. Still not a lot happening in the attack space, or the defense space needs a bit of work, obviously, on it as well. But look, I thought, as I said, much better performance. Zach Lomax outstanding. Josh Adokar was pretty good in his club debut. And I just thought that, even Joey Lussick had a pretty decent game. He made a really good run there and up the middle. But, yeah, still a lot to work on. Bit disappointed in this week's team, but we'll get to that one later. But, look, disappointed that we lost, but promising sort of little signs there.
Yeah, for sure. Jack, your thoughts on Sunday's performance?
Look, there was definitely encouraging signs. I thought we looked much better with Hawkins running the show than we did with Volkman. Considering how one-dimensional the Dogs looked all game, I'm kind of disappointed. We did all that hard work to keep them in their end, and we spent the majority of their second half down.
Sorry, let's go for a second, Jack. As always, we've got to welcome Andy Bowen from Hawks Radio. Andy was a star on last year's show. Welcome, Andy. Glad to have you.
G'day, Andy.
Cheers, Andy. Just our ability to ice our attack was bitterly disappointing to watch. The amount of times I watched Dylan Brown and Sean Lane look like two people who had never touched a footy. I lost count after the first half hour, but better signs, but against a team that was lacking massively in their attack.
Yeah, I agree. Hayden?
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty solid performance overall. I think the Bulldogs wanted it to go to Golden Point and we're trying to throw it away in the last 20 minutes there. They just turned over the ball, gave us a lot of chances. A couple of things to say about the game. Obviously, Hawkins coming into the 7 jersey, his kicking game was fairly solid. There was one moment there which I didn't enjoy, which was his short dropout attempt, it was awful, and it just went straight into the Bulldogs. But overall, defensively, I thought we were really good. And as Troy mentioned, really impressed with Joey Lussick after a couple of weeks out. I thought he came in and played nicely for a team that's leaked 80 points in the first 2 weeks. I thought it was a pretty good performance. Just a shame we couldn't get the win. It was a really costly penalty at the end of the game there, and I hope the boys ripped into it's a tricky name, but Katione after that penalty at the end of the game.
Sorry, I was reading all the comments. Pulled over by highway patrol on the way home to watch the game. Cop was a Parra family, listened to the radio well, got breathalyzed and drove home by the way. Were you drunk or on drugs? Because you haven't really answered that. I'm really confused there. Because if you need a lawyer or a barrister, whatever you need, Jace is your man, all right? Just FYI. Jace, we'll go to you now. Your thoughts on the game?
Firstly, I'd refer him out to a criminal lawyer. But anyway, look, like I said, I've actually got some good things to say. Looked good. Hawkins looked good. Lomax, unbelievable, but Lomax, relax. I don't know what's going on there, but if he's our only point of attack, that's that's scary. Josh Adokar, his energy, he was calling out not just plays and players on our team. He was calling out Doggies players, going, run at me, run at us, I got you. He was talking all game. I love that. Him and Mitch talking, I can't wait for that. I can't wait for Mitch to be back. Dylan Brown, look, he actually didn't have the worst game. He's just not good enough at the moment to step up without Mitch. and that's the only problem. Like he sort of was involved in both tries. If you look at it properly, and he wasn't that bad in defense. Like he's usually a good defender. It looked like he tried, but all his confidence is gone. So I don't know what's going on there. We might have to talk about him later. Sean Lane, there was talk in 2022 about renaming Church Street to Sean Lane. That if the DA is into that, let's just void it, withdraw it, because we don't want that to happen anymore. Sean Lane can exit on the next lane wherever he wants to go. He was absolutely buggered, and I don't know what's going on with his stats, but he did about 4 runs, 40 meters or something. But yeah, look,
I think that's 20 meters too generous. I think.
yeah, probably. Lomax was the highlight. Hawkins looked good. He's only going to get better. And the Dogs were poor, but they did enough in probably 2 or 3 lapses of defense. That first try was horrendous. And it's some of the, like, was it Junior and Jack Williams that missed the tackles, and Iongi trying to cover underneath. That was just ridiculous. If we somehow stop that sort of BS, we're looking really good. I mean, and Sam Rani, unfortunately, dropping the ball for a clear path to the try line. That game was there to win. That game was there to win. A bit disappointing that we didn't get there, and like an opportune game against the Dogs with no Bird and no Kickow. Yeah, I don't know if that weighed up the balance between good and bad, but disappointed we lost. Let's hope we don't get smashed by Manly.
Thanks, Jason. That was a good podcast review, the whole show.
Sorry, man. Okay, you got to start timing me.
Matt, I'm going to give you your thoughts. Give me your thoughts while I quickly duck and get a drink.
The effort was there, but nah,
Yes, BA.
seriously, guys, like, I don't know what to say, much more to say. We had that game. There was, 6 or 8 sets on their try line and just couldn't crack it. But, yeah, we just lacked that final touch, which Dylan should have got more involved. Yeah, it was pretty
I
poor.
disagree
But
with everyone saying this. We had this game.
We like that second half. We look better with Hawkins, and I knew we would. But that second half, they couldn't even get out of their own half.
Yeah,
and
we won the second half 4-2.
But we should have won the third half. When it got to 14, I was like, we're on here, boys, because my 14 at halftime stat, 89% teams lose when they're on 14 at halftime, except for obviously when they play Parra.
So is it 92% now?
Yeah,
I just disagree with what everyone's saying in relation to we had that game on a string and threw it away. I mean, Lomax wasn't kicking his goals in that game. Lomax scores as a 2-point game.
Because he did too much running.
No, but what I'm saying is it was still a 6-point contest. It wasn't a 2-point, 4-point contest. We don't have a genuine field goal kicker within the club. Yes, the Bulldogs did look vulnerable, but they still have a very good defense. So I'm very surprised that people are saying we had the game on a string. We had opportunities to win it. But it wasn't a game we threw away or had. I think it's really overworded for the last couple of days.
Sorry, did you just talk about good defense, Hayden? Do you know what good defense is?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Just checking.
Do you not think the Bulldogs have had probably one of the best defenses in the NRL this season and last season too?
No, I thought
round 3.
There was opportunities there on the weekend. We just blew it.
We had half. You can tell we had a half who didn't know how to ice the end of plays, and we heavily missed the fact that last year when Moses was out, Gutho would step up in our attack, and Yongi isn't just quite there yet.
Just that, if you watched him in attack, Hawkins was screaming he wanted the ball, and then Dylan would just point that way, and then they'd give him the ball, and then he'd just throw it. Like, there was plays down that short side that Hawkins was setting up perfect, but then they kept going to Dylan.
Don't mention short side. That ridiculous Sean Lane short side play.
Oh, it's not 2022 anymore. Like, what?
Yeah.
We're going to get to that later.
It's like we put Lane in there to try and get Dylan back to 2022. Like, it's over. It's done.
Yeah.
All right.
They got their big deals, contracts, and done nothing since. On you go, Adam.
You calmed up. Calm.
This is why you put me as producer.
Every deep breath. I'm taking a deep breath in. Deep breath out.
Woosa.
We are all in this together, okay? We're all working through this together. Let's move on to our player of the match, first of all, which was, I think was a pretty obvious one this week.
I wonder who.
Troy, can you run me through those stats and his name? Because I'm not going to.
30 runs, 291 run meters, 9 tackle breaks, 1 line break for Zach.
One chip and chase.
Well, yes, 1 chip and chase, which I was actually very excited to see, actually.
I turned to Jason
Right.
and I said,
Adam caught it.
Lomax is going to chip and chase this. And the motherfucker actually did it. I
Yeah.
couldn't believe when he actually did it. I was
So
like,
good.
this is so good. And, he got it
And I
back.
didn't mind it because there's 20 seconds till half time. They were down in the game, try it, and nearly came off.
On the NRL app, just to let you know as well, because I've sent it on a few different pages. It does
31
say
runs, 303 meters.
yes, 303 meters for
It got
Zach.
upgraded after I put this out on the Sunday night. Let's talk about Lomax's performance. I won't get everyone. Jason's already mentioned he pretty much was like a kid with ADHD the way he was running around. Probably a little bit too much involvement and really don't want him to burn out. My biggest thing is if he's going to be playing that role, does he need to be in the centers or the wing? Was he playing on the wing? That's the question I want to ask.
No,
Was he-
so he was defending on the wing, but in attack he was at
Playing
center.
Yeah, but he was playing second fullback. He was roving.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was ever again, and that's the thing. Are we overcomplicating his position too much just to get him involved?
Mm.
Jack, your thought?
Yeah, I think we are.
I think we are at the moment. I think his role should be super simple. Play to his strengths. He's got good go forward coming out the back. And for the first time in 3 weeks, we put the ball up in the air and went Zach go chase, which is his bread and butter. So, I think that stick to that gameplay. What worked for him last year, if he wants to push out to the wing come last play, he's going to outjump 98% of the people. But I do think he probably burnt himself out a little bit too much, and that kind of hurt us when we we're down trying to attack.
And that's the biggest thing. Like that game on the weekend, they needed a match winner. And in my opinion, I turned to these boys next to me and said, we don't have a match winner. We've got no one that looks like they're going to break through the line. Now, Zach Lomax was the person on the field that looked most likely. But you could tell he was absolutely screwed for the amount of work he's done. Troy, how would you manage that? Like, would you just have him on the wing? Would you just play him at fullback to make it easier?
Look, I would have had him on the wing from the start of the year, and that's only because of how he went last year. But look, I just don't know. Do we have another jumper in the team that can contest for the ball? Because it just seems that we're just going to be putting up kicks for Lomax to contest. We know he's good at it. He's very good at it. But do we have anyone else that can do that as well?
6'7" giant.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if he needs to jump.
He can't
He
even.
just doesn't have the pace to run down there to contest for it.
Well, the best.
I
the
think
best-
Iongi needs to be that player to run
I
down
think
there.
it's one of. I think it's Richard Penasini if he can come in the team.
Mm.
He's been. I've seen it at training. Jason, we were at training when they were doing that pad stuff, jumping off the back of one of the Scott Wiseman, I think it was. Like, and he could get through the air, but he's obviously picked up an injury, and where he comes in is another question because obviously Sean's there this week. We'll get to that later. Bailey returned from injury last week, not ready yet, but like there could be an opportunity if we see Lomax go to the wing and Richie come in the centers. I don't know. Yep, I'll go to you. Hayden, your thoughts quickly.
Yeah, I kind of agree with Jack there. I think playing him on the wing in defence and keeping that attack, I think Hawkins really opened up the game for Lomax and he was chasing kicks, especially there towards the end of the game. So playing at centre in attack, I think it is working. We saw some good signs of that last week with some big stats as well. But the co-defending on the wing as well is really working. So I wouldn't be moving him to a roaming fullback position like he's been.
Yeah, like I said, I still want him to burn out. That's the biggest thing. Let's move on to our defender of the weekend. Fuck, I've copped some shit for this. I've copped so much shit. And it is obviously Jack Williams. Look, Hopgood made the most tackles again. I actually credited Hopgood for the missed tackle that led to that first try. I'll explain why. First of all, it was a ball plant. Both of them got caught out of position. Jack Williams got equally caught out because Reed made contact with Jack Williams, which meant that Jack had to throw a lazy hand out. Now, because of Hopgood, the ball plant, and because of Hopgood throwing his hands in the air, doing his best Gutho impersonation, he got himself caught out that he didn't close that inside gate. Now, one of the most important things, if you're a marker, is when the play goes to the right, is closing that inside gate, which is the play between the A defender and the ruck. He didn't do that. So I gave it to Jack Williams. Jack Williams defended on the edge and in the middle. I thought did an excellent job all round. Anyone want to disagree with me?
No, I think he made that early mistake where he dropped the ball, I think.
Was
but
the
then,
defender of the week? Give a fuck if he drops the ball. It was the defender of the week.
yeah, but then he obviously made up with it with the tackling.
But it's
as
sort of
well,
like they're both to blame, and Hoppy is just doing too much in defense. I don't know what we need to do for him. Maybe put him in the front row. I mean, I've got a view of Dill going to 13, Hoppy into the front row, and Papa Lee, Joash coming into 6. That's my dream. But Hoppy's doing way too much work. He reminds me of Hindmarsh, but in the middle, and it's a lot tougher for him. And then he just keeps dropping the ball, and he can't do the plays, and he's a little bit behind after he does his 150 tackles. So I actually feel for Hoppy. He's copying a lot of shit, but he's gassed.
He's working his ass off, and both those blokes are. Like I think Jack Williams and Jermaine Hopgood have been our best players so far, consistently. Consistently, they've been the best because they're just putting it. Dare I say it? The effort has been there. The effort certainly has been there for sure by those two. That's our defender of the week. Let's move on to our leaderboard. Obviously, for our fans, 3-2-1. As I just mentioned, Williams is on top with 4 points. Lomax with 4 points. Smith 3, Sam Roney 3, and Paulo with that performance comes in a 2. Let's talk about Junior Paulo quickly. We're going to go to the good before we go to the bad. I thought that was Junior Paulo's best performance since 2022. I thought he was good last week in his first stint, but then I thought he probably went 5 to 10 minutes too long last week. Okay. I'm going to give Jason Riles massive credit here because he's got Paulo's rotation perfect. Now, Brad Arthur could not do that in however long he coached him. So props there. Props to Junior for actually tucking the ball and just fucking running it. He did an excellent job. Actually looked like he wanted to run over blokes. And his defense as well. He made about 30 tackles or something like that and just wanted to crunch blokes. Massive by Junior. I know we bagged him out previously. Not like the fan at Newcastle that bagged him out last year. Your thoughts on Junior's performance, Jay?
Jack.
Jack?
I was wondering.
That was
Jace.
Oh, Jace.
Oh, sorry. Yeah,
Sorry, the
I'm not
voice,
sure.
Adam, the voice.
Yeah.
Was that Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Get to the job, but I don't know. Yeah. I'm not sure if you mentioned it, but there you go. I think you mentioned it or not mentioned it, but Riles got Junior's minutes perfect, and that's exactly what he needed. He needed that 20-30 max, right? And he was running hard. A few of his first runs, he didn't even turn. So his usual thing is run and try and turn. He was just running and falling on his chest. I love that. Junior, well done, mate. Like honestly, I don't know if you listen to us or Riles spoke to you, but well done, mate. Like honestly, that's exactly what he needs to do. He's not a talker. He's a lead by example, and he led by example. He played really well. He was probably his second after Lomax for me.
And don't forget his pass for that led to Pinasini's try as well.
Oh, it's try contribution.
I was going to go to you next, Troy, but you cut in as usual. So here's your thoughts on Junior's performance.
Oh, yeah, look, as you said, it's his best game in a long time, and you probably saw that intent right from the kickoff, as Jason was saying. His runs, that one straight off the kickoff was run straight and hard and into the defence. And I think also, too, the HIA did help him as well because he had to go off for 15 minutes as well. But, look, overall, I think he had, one of his better games. And as I just mentioned at the start, the pass also was pretty smart to let out to Penasini's try.
Yep, I agree. Hayden?
Very solid game from Junior. I want to actually apologise because I was having arguments with the Swarm. I actually thought Junior was the player that gave away the penalty to end the game. So I was absolutely blowing up about that. I thought it was Junior, not Katoni. But yeah, good to see him back in that sort of old form. And as you said, Adam, it looks like the coach may have his rotations right, which might bring out the best game he's brought in years.
Matty?
Yeah, Junior was solid. I had a conversation with him before the game, and he's taken a lot on the last two games and blamed himself for a lot of stuff. And I knew when he walked in that he was gonna be a better performance, and let's just hope that continues. So,
Jack?
Thanks, mate. I think Paulo fell a little bit too much in love with that hit and spin for the offload after how well it worked in previous years.
it's a careless coaching.
Yeah, I think he's.
I
have no idea what you said.
Can you say that again?
It's the careless coaching.
Gotcha.
The old careless hit spin.
Well, he's always been his best where he just tucks the ball over and under his arm and realizes he's bigger than everybody else. He probably has been since he came out of the womb. And that offload's going to work so much better after he's run over 35 people over the space of 25 minutes. So, I don't understand why he would ever go away from that, but I was happy.
Yeah. The comments are getting me. I've had some good comments so far. It's been fantastic. Look, let's move on from obviously that. Let's get to the bad. Look, I'll start it. Let's start talking about Nathan Highmarsh's comments about Dylan Brown. I just want to say firstly, obviously we have a focus on mental health as well. I am a bit concerned. I know there's other people concerned about Dylan Brown's mental health at the moment. He doesn't appear to be handling this the best. I don't know if it's handling the pressure, handling the fact that he's now a multimillionaire, handling the situation at all. I don't know what's going on, but I've never seen Dylan Brown go straight up the tunnel before after a game. He was the first one off the field. He's usually the best with the fans. But Dylan obviously knows who we are by now. Had some good conversations with him. We're the blokes from some podcast. But when he come past at half time, I gave him a bit of a, slap on the back to try and motivate him as a high five in the players. And the look on his eyes was just like, he's not there. He's mentally checked out. Can I go to someone else? Can someone save me here? Let's start with
Put the Sparky voice on.
Give us your thoughts.
Yeah, look, obviously it's very tough for him at the moment. He's got that scrutiny on him, and rightfully so. He signed that massive contract. And obviously with signing that contract comes responsibilities, and with Mitchell Moses out, he needs to be the one that steps up. And obviously we haven't seen that at the moment. I think the other day Matt Johns said put him at 13 and just let him play Dylan Brown football. See what happens there. If that did happen, well then, as Jason said, you can move Hopgood into the front row and you've got a better rotation because you know that Dylan can play 80 minutes. I don't know about this getting rid of him this season because, you still need your best players at the side, even though he's not doing the best at the moment. And I don't know if anyone else is going to be taking him. So, look, it's very difficult for him, obviously, but with that money comes responsibility. So, and hopefully it comes out. We've been saying it for 3 weeks now. We'll say it for 4 weeks. Hopefully it starts this week.
Yeah, good point. In regards to the moving him on thing, first of all, Newcastle can't afford him now. So Newcastle cannot take him. I think the only option, if it doesn't improve, is he plays New South Wales Cup or we look for another club to take him for the rest of the year. And it's what we get in return for that. I personally believe we need second rowers. So I'd be looking for a club that might want to offload a second rower and have a 5'8", look at the Titans, David Fafita, unhappy. Dylan Brown, unhappy. Dylan, enjoy the Gold Coast. You'll fucking love it up there. But, it's what might need to happen. We need to start thinking outside the box because he's clearly not interested in being there. And I don't know if he can come out of it. I really don't. And I know there's some concerns with him around the club. Matt, your thoughts?
Yeah, it was a bit strange before the game too. He didn't drive himself to the game where usually we know Dylan to rock up with the music pumping and stuff, but he just got driven to the game and come straight in, said hi, signed some autographs and went straight in as well. But yeah, I think he just needs a couple weeks off. Not even playing football. Just get away for a bit, clear your head, and come back. But I think there's a reason why Volkman was named on the extended bench. I think they might possibly rest him this week. That's just my thoughts. It's what I'd do. I would literally just tell him, take a week or two off, and then.
I think, yeah. All right, sorry, that was a great comment. That was a great comment.
Yeah, I was with Matt pre-game, and I was going to say I think he was a bit talkative with the fans, signing autographs, doing that sort of stuff pre-game. But I think Chris in the comments summed it up really well. And I know that in football you're open to criticism, but if you're going to be booed at 2 home games shown, I know it wasn't as big this game, but you could hear some booing towards Dylan Brown. That's the reason why he goes up the tunnel. That's the reason why.
I think he might have got confused with the dogs booing Addo Carr.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I mean, like he might have thought it was us booing him because a lot of those touches, he'd pass it at a car and the Dogs fans will start booing. Like, maybe he got confused on the field, but
no, that was clearly for Addo Carr.
Yeah,
Very clearly for Addo Carr.
I just like how in the warm up he was the last one on the field and he was just like clapping to the crowd and waving at them.
Did you not hear the chant? Fox is a wanker.
Yeah, we heard it.
Like, it was clearly about Addo Carr. Like, go on.
Yeah, it had nothing to do with that. I just think Dylan's mental health, and what I will say is I really hope the club's looking after him in that regard. And if it means he needs time away, give him time away because it's obviously something that's pretty important. And I guess as a club that's put out documentaries about, mental health battles and stuff like that, we need to make sure we're really looking after this bloke because love or hate what he's done, sometimes there's more important things in the world than a football match and being on that field. So,
well, we just got to simplify his game, just like Matty John said. If he goes into the middle and plays, a playmaker 13, it just simplifies his game. At the moment, it's all on him to make the play, make the last pass, the try assist, the magic kick. If you just put him at 13 and just let him run, who cares? He doesn't have to care. Like, just run, mate. Like, we don't want you to do anything except step, run, step, put in a little kick, do that. Just do whatever you got to do. Like, I don't know. I think we should simplify his game, and so we should simplify Lomax's as well.
Before we move on,
simplify everyone's.
I'm going to try and get this out again. Obviously, we are doing another giveaway tonight. So, as we mentioned before, if you could understand it, we're giving away a voucher every week. It's going to jackpot by $50 if it doesn't go off. So, all you got to do is share the podcast. Once you've shared the podcast, just comment shared in the comments. Maddie will star it. We'll draw a winner out towards the end. You got 30 seconds to claim. If you don't claim in that 30 seconds, it'll go up to $150 next week. Let's move on to one more disappointing performance. And I'm not going to target one person here. I'm going to target our second rowers in general. Not mentioning Jack Williams because Jack wore the 12 but floated around. I thought he had a good game. But Gideone Katoga and Sean Lane. Now, I'll get their stats up. If he's give me a second, I'll get their stats up. Just got to scroll to the bottom.
I can tell you that Sean Lane ran for 47 metres or 57 metres.
He's been upgraded. He ran 7 runs for 50 metres. And Gideone Katoga ran 3 runs for 27 metres. Now, before we get into that, I want to clarify a couple of things. After round 1, Jason Riles dropped both Kelma Tulangi and Charlie Geimer for their defensive efforts in that Melbourne game. He brought in these players because he wanted our edge defence fixed up because that's where they're making gaps where our second rowers are. Okay? I want to highlight both these guys made 30 tackles. They're doing a fantastic job defensively. Now, just because your coach has told you to focus on having 30 tackles or helping defence, As a player, you've got to be better. You've got to want to win the game for your team. I saw Sean Lane sitting out on the edge with his hand on his hips. Zach Lomax had ran for 300 fucking meters and made 20 tackles or something himself. You know, Hopgood, Williams, Paulo, had all worked their ass off in the middle and make just as many tackles as Lane. I'll say now, I played pretty much everywhere on the football field, including halfback on the weekend, but we won't get into that. And playing on the edge is a much easier role defensively than playing in the middle. You don't have to turn as fast. You don't have to be as aware when the ball switches side. Yes, you're alive, but you're not there. Now, all he has to do is come in and take a fucking tough carry. I saw Dean Hawkins, and I'll give Kidione a bit of a leeway here because he's on the outside of the field. The three of us, me, Jason, and Troy, saw Hawkins yell at Sean to get involved, and Sean just stood here like this. Now, as a teammate, you want to show your best, and you want to get involved for your team and win a game for your team. Your team's 0-2, you're playing in front of your home fans. Just be fucking better. Like, show you care. Show you want to win. Show you want to earn your money. Because all you've left is your teammates, clearly, and the fans disappointed. That's my thoughts on Sean Lane. Constructive criticism, because I've got to give constructive criticism. You did great defensively. Work on your attack. Be involved more. Your thoughts on that? I'll go to you, Jason. You were sitting next to me. You heard my thoughts about the game. Kind of why my voice is like this.
I don't know if and it was a great shout out by Rianne. That comment killed me. Like, put as much effort in as he did in your documentary. It was fucking great call. Shout out to her. She's probably listening. Look, it's just one of those things where Lane, he has the potential. He knows he's not a dumb guy. He's a smart guy. He's massive. Just run hard, mate. Run hard. And if you're lacking your fitness, put your hand up. Put your hand up and come off. Our edges are being destroyed. That's our biggest weakness, obviously, besides our halves at the moment. But it's just put your hand up, mate. Do 15, 20 minutes and go hard as you can. The annoying thing as well is that he's also in highlights. Like he was part of the Will Penasini try and whatever. And he does, he does a few little things here or there. And he might have been good in defense, but he just has his hands on his hips the whole time. He might as well just stand at the doggy's 30-meter line and just wait for everyone to catch up for him. I don't know what's going on there. Like, I know you're gas, mate, but come on, bit of effort. Or put your hand up. No worries. Like you played all right until you start putting your hands on your hips and walking around like you can't be bothered or you're too buggered. I don't know. I just maybe his fitness isn't up to scratch, but yeah, I don't know.
That's game smarts. As you said, he's a smart man. Look, you are all with me. We went out the back all day, Doyley, on that block play. I said to both his, we're going to hit short here to Sean Lane. If I can see that from the grandstand, I know it's coming. Because when you work it out, a half or 5'8", whoever's throwing the ball, they're going to go out the back about 4 times and hit short at least one of those times. He was due. I knew he was going to get it. He dawdled on the ball. He hit it even half that amount of speed. He would have gone straight through. He made a half break. Just disappointing, Hayden.
I don't open my mouth too much like this, but I think you boys are going to enjoy this because look, last year when you boys spoke about Sean Lane, I spoke about putting him on the bench. I spoke about moving him into a middle role, but I'm done with him. Those stats over the last 2 weeks are ridiculous. And Sean, I'm sorry, but you are the Blake Laurie of the Dragons. You have become a laughing stock, and it is ridiculous to watch week in, week out. Your hands on your hips, not on side, and just the leadership isn't there. It hasn't been there for years, and it's just getting to a point where it's ridiculous. And Brad Arthur, obviously, you were part of his little group at that time, but Jason Riles isn't going to cut it. So I really hope he's out of the team soon because as a back rower, as a front rower, as a bench player, I'm done with him in this team. He is the Aaron Woods of Manly.
You've got to test for COVID to have COVID, and since those things all happen, I haven't done it. But I've got a chest infection, guys. As a very talented musician, classically trained singer, if I get a chest infection, I lose my voice. It's absolutely fucked. My throat's fine. So, Matty, your thoughts on Lane?
What can I say? It's not.
Remember, constructive criticism.
Constructive criticism. On a side note, if there's any cough lozenge places that want to sponsor us, Adam's looking for new sponsors for the podcast.
Fundamental.
Because there's going to be a long season yelling at the team, but I think Lane needs to just go. Just offer him. I don't think any club wants him. So you mean like he got that big contract, long contract, played one good season and then done nothing. And what shits me even more is him going up and high-fiving all the Bulldogs players afterwards because he used to be a part of them. And it just, I don't like when we lose and you see the players laughing on the field and stuff after the game. He was the number one doing it. So
I'm going to open up and let you answer too, Jack, but I guess someone touched on it, Brad's boys. You know, Laney was one of Brad's boys. There's been this little rumour floating around for quite a while. And look, I haven't spoken about the club about this. Just want to highlight that now. No confirmation in that regard. But there's been this little rumour floating around that there's a few players not buying into the culture that Jason Riles and the style that Jason Riles is trying to bring. Not naming any players at all. Definitely not naming any players. But, a couple of these players may have short-term injuries, but maybe nowhere near playing first grade. Jack, I'm not saying Sean Lane is one of them, but on Sean Lane's performance, would you be surprised? Is the effort there?
No, it's not. It is when he wants to be. Like every time over the past, how long has he been with us now? 4 or 5 years. Every time he wants to put in the effort in attack, he does well. If he wants to hit the ball hard on the short ball, 9 times out of 10, he gets through. But it's almost like Jason Riles has spoken to him and gone, look, our edge defense is struggling. And he's taken that as, okay, I'm just going to focus on defense and nothing else. Like, I don't think it's too much to ask for either back rower to jump in and take one run a set. Like, I don't understand. I actually was one of the people who thought when he got moved into the bench middle last year, he actually wasn't terrible. He plays 25 minutes in the middle. He'd actually work, make his tackles, good tough hit-ups. But it's almost like now that he's on the edge, I'm not sure if he thinks it, but it's just the idea that because he's on the edge, he doesn't have to come in and take the work and kind of hide out there while everyone else takes the tough carries. And then when we get to our attack, all our backs are absolutely cooked because they've taken 3 hit-ups a set while he sits there on the edge. Like, the amount of times I saw Penasini or the Fox move in and he pushed himself one further out while they take the tough carries. He just stands there. I don't get it.
Yeah, and look, it's a style we're trying to play where, as we saw against Melbourne, it didn't work perfectly. Sorry. It started to work against the Tigers. It started to work against the Dogs, where those backs are obviously going to have those higher meters. But towards the end of the game where you can see your backs are gassed, just because it's not the plan doesn't mean you got to get in and do it. Like, you got to do everything I said for your teammates. If you want to win a game of football, you got to do it. Before we move on from Sean Lane, friend of the podcast, Andy Bowen, not Hawks Radio anymore, now got his cast rate. He's sending this photo of him and Sean, asked me to put it up. So, call you back, Andy, mate. Put you up. Can't wait to have you on the podcast, last podcast here again. Prepare everyone. Joey Lussick, guys. Not going to go to everyone. We shit on Joey Lussick last year. Absolutely shit on him. And he's a nice bloke. Never denied that. I thought he was good on the weekend. I think he's good when he doesn't have to play a full game. Doesn't get pushed too long. As Jason said earlier, when we were talking off air, I'd like to see him play that first 30 and then probably Riley play the next 40 and see how the game's going. If we need a spark in that last 10, keep Riley on. If we need someone that can be defensively solid with a bit of experience, close out the game, bring Joey back on. Because as we saw with, I guess, Riley's little kick on third tackle, it was inexperience. Massive inexperience. And someone like Joey probably wouldn't have done that. So just a little rotation thing I'd work on. Bring Joey off 10 minutes earlier and in a close game like that, probably bring Joey on. Something I'd be looking at. Won't go to everyone. Already pretty much quoted you, Jason. So, Troy, your thoughts?
Yeah, look, I think, he's got that football brain. I mean, we saw when he made that good run, he saw that the defenders were the markers were out of sync and took off. And so he's obviously got that experience. Yeah, you're probably right. Just play 30 minutes and then bring Riley on. And Riley's only going to learn from someone like Joey because he's got that experience. And look, he did put in a couple of kicks as well, which are almost good ones in terms of, finding the line and stuff. But, yeah, I think he should probably stay in there just for that experience factor and mix up the playing.
Would you put Lussick second row?
No.
No.
If I'm moving anyone the second row, I'm moving Will Penasini. I know I said that last week, but I think he'll do a solid job there. A bit of speed, like we use him for a bit of grunt. He's probably the only player I could see moving in there. Samrani maybe in time.
He's a bit slender at the moment.
Yeah, as he gets older, does a full off season and takes some supplements to help bulk him up.
What about Hoppy? What about Hoppy in the second row?
I think he's tried it. Like I think he tried it last year sometime.
I think we have tried him there. Yeah.
No. We've Brad tried him there, not Riles. Like different, different players around him.
He's still got caught out, in my opinion. There, but I honestly, and I straight up said this to Jim Zarantani's Paramas here after the game, and Jason was there for it. We need to buy second rowers. That seems to be our target. If someone wants to take Dylan Brown now, like I said earlier, trade him for a second rower. We have the halves covered. We have good juniors coming through in the halves. Hooker, front row backs. We need some second rowers. And I'd be really starting to look and make some inquiries in regards to that because that's what we're really lacking at the moment. And I guess I was surprised Cardi wasn't back. I don't know if Cardi's been named in cup. Matt, you want to shag him. Was he named in cup?
He was not.
He's obviously still injured.
I don't know of. Yeah, he was,
has a attitude problem, maybe. I don't know.
I think it's more the second one.
Well, the other bloke he was hanging around with on the weekend that couldn't even look at me has a clear attitude problem, and they were hanging around together. So both with suspicious injuries. But anyway,
Cardi's been named for.
Oh, he's been named, has he? I don't
second
know.
row.
He was named last week.
Him and
Kelma last week, but he didn't play. And may I add, Kelma played the whole game last week without headgear. So is that a new thing? Maybe Riles didn't like him fixing his headgear every 5 minutes and tripping over his shoelaces against Melbourne to allow Pappenhausen run through every gap he saw.
It's like when you take blinkers off a racehorse. All of a sudden, they don't matter. I have no idea. No idea. I've got no. All right, let's get to the top performers, then move on to this week. Obviously, he's going to. Can someone please read through this? Hayden?
Sure. In the runs, we had Zach Lomax with 31 runs, Isaiah Iongi with 26, and Will Penasini with 17. Onto the tackles, we had Jermaine Hopgood with 48, Jack Williams 44. This name is tough. Katoni.
Say Katoni.
It is Katoni. Katoni Katoga, 37. I nearly said points.
Perfect.
We're on Supercoach then. Fucking hell. Tackles, Junior Barlow, 30. Run meters, Zach Lomax, 303. Isaiah Iongi, 121. Will Penasini.
That could be 221. Yep.
Is that meant to be two? I was going to say, yeah, it's out of order there. Will Penasini, 163. And Jordan Samrani, 149. Tries to Addo Carr and Penasini, 1 apiece. Tackle breaks, 9. Zach Lomax, 4. Junior Barlow, 3. Isaiah Iongi, and 3 to Joey Lussick as well.
Yeah, let's just appreciate the workload the backs did there. I thought the back line was actually incredible with their run meters, and some of them we've kind of lacked since, I guess, Fergo left as well.
Fergo, I was going to say that.
Going semi, vice versa. Fergo come in and did semi's job, but I'm getting worse, guys. It's fucking great. Let's get this time before we get next week's game because I've copped a shot lacking.
No way.
Wait your turn, bro. Wait your turn. Daly Cherry Evans. Now, I'm not saying I want this. I'm just putting it out in the universe. Now, he doesn't want to stay at Manly because he wants to play on. He'll probably head to Queensland or retire. Who knows what he's going to do?
He's going Roosters.
We don't have a 5'8" next year. We don't have a second half for next year as it stands. Hawkins is our option. We've got some good young kids coming through. We know we're going to chase Galvin. If we don't get Galvin to 2027, is DCE worth a year with a mutual option for the year after? Mitch obviously has a record of not being on the field a lot. Good young kids coming through. I like the way Daly handles himself. I like the player he's been. Yes, he might have gone a year too long, but you had to put that one up then, Matt, didn't you? I'm going to go to Matt. I don't know his opinion. Jason, would you be against it for a year?
Oh, look, I hate DCE. That's my only thing.
He said he hates you too.
Yeah, I know. He definitely hates me. 1 year, if he shuts the hell up and does his job, yep.
Short and sweet. I like it. Jack?
I take it 100%. I think it would ease the workload of Mitchie. He can literally sit there, be a mentor for the young ones moving up. I think he's probably the best option for a year. I wouldn't do a lick over a year without an option. But I think he'd be silly not to take it if he was interested. Not that I think he would be, to be honest.
No, I'm not saying he is, but
No,
it's worth a chat.
I'd 100%.
Troy?
Yeah, I would. The only thing I guess would be the price tag that would come with it. We know you'd have to pay him $1 million. Do you think?
$750.
Sorry?
$750.
Yeah, well, I think that's why he's leaving Manly, isn't it?
No, it's got nothing to do with money. I only want him a 1 year deal, and I think he felt a bit disrespected.
Well, he'll get more. He'll get more elsewhere. But if money wasn't an issue, then yeah, definitely for a year. It'd take a lot of pressure off him as well, not being captain, and yeah, it'd be good for Mitch as well.
Let's remember as well, Dylan Brown was on about that money next year, close to that $1 million.
Yeah.
You know, so I know who's going to offer more for a team, that's for sure. Hayden, massive Queensland fan.
I absolutely love DCE. I actually think this is a no, regardless of 1 year, regardless of 2 years. I think, yes, he ages like fine wine, and there are people that can learn from him within the club, but I think you've got to look elsewhere. I don't think he'd fit the play style of the club too. I'm actually really against this. Not that I think he will come to the club, but I'm left field here and think I'm a no. It's too old for me.
Matt, I know your thoughts.
Age isn't a factor, surely.
So my thoughts are he'll go to Gold Coast with Foz and Des, and they'll have a big retirement party. But would he play 6, or would he want the 7? And would Mitch, kind of like Guffo said last year to BA, you get me Tedesco, I'll move to the centers. Would Mitch go back to being a 6 if we got DCE?
No.
I don't think Mitch
Mitch
is
is
going
breaking out
to
of
Parramatta.
Huh?
It's a marketing thing with kids now as well. Like Mitch wears that 7 jersey no matter what.
Yeah.
The concern I have in that regard is if their play style would suit each other. Because, yes, if DCE is there, Mitch would have to go back to his 5'8" ways. And we know Mitch can play 5'8". And when Mitch makes a miraculous recovery and comes back to Parramatta and then gets picked at Origin to play next to Cleary, he's going to play 6 if that happens. So I guess we're going to get a taste of that. I don't see him go on the Gold Coast, FYI. The Gold Coast will have a ride on their hands with their 12 fans if that does happen.
Isn't Kieran retiring at the end of this year anyway?
Who knows?
He's going. DC's going Roosters. He's going Roosters.
DCE goes there, I think he'll do 1 more year.
Interesting. I love your thoughts as always. Let's move on to this week's team list. All right. You're up, Jason. You got the call up this week. Hang on, Jason. Have you done it before?
No.
All right, you're up.
All right. Let's do this. Isaiah Ongi, fullback. Our wingers, Sean Russell, apparently, and Josh Adokar. In the centers, Will Penasini and Zach Too Much Relax Lomax. 6 and 7, Dylan Brown checked out. Dean Hawkins playing well. Jack Williams, make your tackles in the front row. Joey Lussick, don't play too long. Junior Bolo, hitting hard at 10. Sean Lane, 2 1s for his 2 hands on his hips at 11. In the second row with, again, apparently Jack Williams. we're missing someone here.
Katoga.
Tony Patakuga or whatever he's.
Well,
Just call him Kit.
Let's call him KK.
Kitty. I'm going to call him Kitty.
Good old Kit Kat. Good old Kit Kat. Yeah, have a break. Jermaine Hopgood at 13. Love the hoppy. Riley Smith always coming on with the headgear looking good and at 14. Matt Dury on the bench running hard. Joel Fingawi kissing everyone. And Dan Kerr coming in for his first game of the season. And we've got our extended bench, Tuivati, Geimer, my new man crush, Joash Papali, and Volkman and Samrani has not been given dispensation. So let's see, maybe Sean Russell might get dropped out. Who knows?
Right. Let's, once again, haven't spoken to anyone. This is a theory. Sean Russell returns the team. Jordan Samrani, obviously, the last 2 weeks did get the dispensation by the NRL to play. I know we have one spot left in our top 30. I don't know what the club's trying to do to work on that, but I would assume there's something happening behind the scenes. See if Jordan can get upgraded. We're not going to go into that now. In regards to Jack Williams, obviously, Kidione is there. There's not 2 Jack Williams. I'd take 2 Jack Williams at the moment. Dan Kerr coming onto the bench, played second row in the New South Wales Cup last week. That's a bit of an admittance from Jason Riles that our second row was defended well, but attacked like absolute dog shit. So he's come in. I feel sorry for Sam here. I think Sam's been good. Used in limited minutes, had a bit of an impact. But I think dropping him back to New South Wales Cup, same as Samrani. Samrani's gone the centres. We saw him there a little bit. Look, I will highlight. I'll let you talk about the team first, then I'll highlight something on Samrani and reasons he may have actually been dropped. I don't know. Let's get your thoughts on the team first, Jack.
Look, I'm a bit disappointed Russell is in the team. I get if it's because Samrani's not in the top 30. What's the go with Simo? He's still a couple of weeks away because I know he played half a game in Cup.
Yeah, he didn't. He said he pulled up right when I was talking to him, but that was directly after the game. Obviously, he's playing.
Yeah.
So,
match fitness.
So he played 20 minutes and then done about 60 minutes of just laps around the field.
Beautiful. All right, so he's working towards it. Look, I'm not surprised that there weren't many changes. I'm not the biggest fan of Dan Kerr from my limited time viewing him. I just don't think he's the greatest player in the world. I hope he proves me wrong. I think it's solid, but I am incredibly concerned about the weekend. But I'm not seeing any immediate upgrades because based off what you're saying, what I've heard, bit of attitude problems with our former star back rowers. So I don't think they'll be sniffing first grade anytime soon. So I think at the moment, Kidione and Lane Train might be the best we've got, which scares me, but it is what it is for the time being.
Wonderful. Sorry, just trying to get a mouth in.
That was a good ramble from me.
I'm not a fan of this team list this week at all. I understand Samrani is obviously down there in jersey number 22, as he hasn't been upgraded to a top 30, and we were given those 2 weeks with him. So I understand Sean Russell coming back, but I think Samrani's had a blinder, and I think we should be looking elsewhere after some really poor performances. I only spent 1 week there in Cup. I like the addition of Joey Lussick in jersey number 9. We spoke about that one before. But Kit Kat, I think Kit Kat, I think Sam Tuivati should get a spot in jersey number 12. I think Tuivati being overlooked is ridiculous.
You're going to play front row on the edge.
And we're not going to go back to last week where I said Tuivati comes out. That was just for Addo-Carr to come in. But just looking at this team list, spoiler alert, Manly's going to tear us apart.
Are you okay?
It's going to rain. It's going to rain. It's going to be okay.
He's still at Combank Stadium.
Have you got a $14 million deal for Newcastle and struggling a bit? Because you were in a fucking mood tonight. I'll say that as a no. All right, Matt. Great to you.
I don't think that's the team that's going to run out, to be honest, looking at the extended bench. I don't know. I think Russell will play center. Lomax will go wing. I think Brown might drop off and Volkman come in. Like, I don't know, but I'm not a fan of the team. As I said in our group chat, it's like Brad Arthur all over again. Riles come out making those tough decisions and going to make those tough calls, and we haven't seen it. Like, they're not performing. I know the whole they're going to gel together, maybe give them another week together, but I don't know. There's some players there are just scratching my head, especially after watching reserve grade win yet again, and some of the players we had there absolutely kill it, and they're
Did
not
Sean
even
play well or not in reserve
pushing
grade?
He played good. His carries were very strong. He scored a try, but that was more Joash pure class cutting the line. But yeah, I think it's I don't get it.
By all reports, Hayes Dunst has been one of the best in New South Wales Cup the last 2 weeks. And still needs a bit of match fitness under his belt, but I know they're a massive fan of Sean Russell, the coaching staff. I rate Sean Russell better as a centre than a winger. Defensively, he's terrible, but yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm the same. I think there's got to be something else than Sean. Sorry, Sean, but
He can run.
yeah, but he
That's
doesn't make
about
it
it.
great. Yeah,
No.
like he doesn't do anything. Like, I thought he tried his ass off against Melbourne, but defensively, he was a liability, a massive liability. Your thoughts on the team, Ace? Even he kind of gave him when you were announcing it.
Yeah, look, I'm just waiting for Joash to get into this team, and I don't know if it's maybe putting pressure on Iongi, but Iongi's playing well. Maybe going into 6. He is killing it in Cup. He's absolutely destroying it. He does not belong there. I know he's still young. I think he's still in his teens, or he's just in his early 20s, whatever it is. But he's absolutely killing it. He needs to get into that side ASAP. I'm a bit disappointed that Hands has had a favour now. I think everyone was unreasonably bagging him, but it looks like Lussick and Smith at the moment is working. But I wouldn't mind seeing Hands back in there. I don't like our edge. I would prefer a completely different combo. It's too bad that we've got some injuries with some of the older boys that aren't going to be able to play anytime soon. I want to see this team do exactly what they did against Dogs and just put up a fight. It's going to rain, so Manly aren't going to score 500 against us. So let's just relax, play hard, intent. Whoever's there, do their bloody job. Let Josh Adokar yell at everyone, and hopefully we're in with a chance.
All right, Troy, I left you for last. As they say, you always save the best for last. Go on.
Oh, come on.
Sorry, that's one
Mate, it doesn't matter. Take me off the screen. The listeners will still be able to hear me on the audio podcast, but that's okay. I'm used to being
Oh God, he doesn't see it every week. He doesn't see it every week.
Yeah, it doesn't really worry me. I mean, some of the viewers would probably like that. To be honest, I know Nige there. He'd probably love that. But anyway, I'd make a few changes to this side.
Doesn't Nigel like you?
Apparently not. The less I talk, the better, apparently. But
we've been telling you that for 5 fucking years. You haven't listened to us.
No, well, I'll try to get a contract for next year, see? So, anyway, I would have put Kelmer back in the second row, and I would have put Jack in the second row, and I would have started with Joe Ofahengawi, and shout out to him as well, playing his 200th NRL game, so big milestone there. I would have put Cartwright on the bench, and I would have put Tuivasa on the bench as well.
That's it. That's what you got.
Well, you guys have pretty much covered most of it. Look, I think probably that what has saved a few of the players that have been named is the fact that it was a little bit better performance from the previous 2 weeks. So that's probably why a few of them have stayed. So
yeah,
it'll be a telling game.
This week we were talking about New South Wales Cup before. I know, obviously you weren't at the game, Jack, and Hayden, you had the March commitments. Matt, Troy, Jason, did you watch New South Wales Cup yet?
Yep.
How do you
Little
like?
bit of it.
How do you like those apples, Ellen? All right, moving on from that.
That's right, Helen. That's right. The sponsors are at New South Wales Cup in the field club. Even before the package starts, I'm there.
Let's go to this draw, eh? So I'm just gonna get it up. Just give me a second. It always takes me a little while. Comments starred. 31 comments.
Adam Mario wants to ask if you'll be watching this week's game in a corporate box or not.
I will.
At Brookvale. You're great, Jace. Going on
Man-
your away game, watching it in a box at Brookvale.
Yeah,
Good
Chairman's
stuff.
Lounge. Chairman's
Yeah,
Lounge.
yeah.
Only
Okay,
place to
yeah.
be.
I've actually got tickets to the game that I've actually passed on to someone else. Because I was planning on going with a young fella, but unfortunately 3 trips from Newcastle to Sydney on Sunday, Wednesday, and then Saturday was going to be way too much. So 1,000 kilometres, I am not going to the game. So I would not be watching your corporate box, but I'll make the missus treat me like a royalty here and bring me drinks and food. So should be a good day. All right, finding this random number generator. I don't know where the fuck it is. Here it is. 31 of you want to win $100. Let's see if one of you can.
Let's go.
All right.
Imagine if it didn't go off.
150 next week. Number 18. So why can I not scroll down, Matt?
5, 6, 7, 8.
No, I've got it. I'm going for the top. 1, 2,
Oh, okay.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13,
How to
14.
pick out.
15, 16, 17, 18.
Woo!
All right, Will Ellis. Will Ellis, you got 30 seconds starting from now.
Get the timer on. Just talk amongst yourselves.
I waited till there's 0.
Yes, Ryan. I agree. It's good that DC is under the spotlight. Maybe a bit of pressure for him. Tim, I couldn't agree more. Brookvale, it's a bit of a.
Will
Hey,
Ellis,
he's here.
love it,
Oh, he's
Will.
here.
Will Ellis,
There he is.
he made it with about 3 seconds to spare, Will. All right, Will,
Just
message the page. Send us your address. I've got a $100 voucher coming your way.
Woo!
That won't reset next week. It will go to $50 next week. I mean, it will reset. It won't be next week because next week we're giving away a jersey because the week after is going to be such a big game. The week after that will be back to $50. So message the page. Let's do some bold predictions and we'll get some fan questions. Get your questions in. I'm going to go first because I am so fucking sick of talking. My bold prediction is for Parramatta to win the game. No, it's not bold.
Oh, mate, that's risky.
Oh, you stole my bold prediction. Damn
No.
it.
Here's one. All Parramatta's back 5 will run for 150 metres plus. All right. Pretty good. You taking that? You happy with that? First try scorer, Josh Adokar. And my scoreline in a scrappy wet affair at Brookvale Oval on a Sunday afternoon with tins flowing on the hill will be 18 points to 16 to Parra because I never tip against Parra. Go to you next, Matt. Take it right. Everyone else is down.
Oh, you want me to go? I didn't think this through, guys. I'm going to go Jermaine Hopgood, first try scorer.
Interesting.
I'll go Parra 24 to 16. And I will go Dean Hawkins, 3 try assists. Is that allowed?
Yeah.
No.
I'll take it since most of our tries that you've been scored off backline moves. Hayden,
Just
have a
quickly,
fucking go this week too, eh?
Just quickly, this game means a lot to me. I wasn't on the podcast 2 weeks ago because I did lose my pop. Massive Manly fan. So first time Manly faced the Eels and really looking forward to Friday, 23rd of May. But yeah, it's going to rain. It's going to be at Brookie. Tom Trbojevic back. I think it's going to be a really tough ask, to be honest. I'll go Manly by 20. I think it was good defence last week, but I don't like this team list, and I think they're going to get taught an awful lesson. I'm going to go Manly 32 points to 12 in this one. First try scorer is going to be Luke Brooks. But bold prediction, I reckon Joey Lussick might bag a try. So Joey Lussick to score a try. I'll say it's in the second half. Joey Lussick to score in the second half.
We'll take that. It's a bit more bolder.
I'll go better.
I don't know what you believe in, Hayden. If you believe in the afterlife and Manly are beating your team by 20 points, you know, Pop's kind of sitting there pissing himself laughing at you as you watch that loss. So, Jace?
Look, I'm not going to be objective. I'm going to be biased. I think Parra win 16-14. I think it's going to be a very close game in the rain. We all know Manly can't play in the rain. So let's hope it just pours down. Junior Polo for the first try to just over and slide. And bold prediction is, I think I tried last week, someone else, I think I said Montoya. This week I'm going to say Addo Carr to get a hat trick. So all our we're going to score 3 tries.
What was your score? What was your score again?
16-14. It's possible.
16-14. So all of our tries are going to be from Addo Carr. 3 tries from Addo Carr. He's gonna carve up Saab. You're just gonna be like, done.
Zach's gonna be off with the
chip and chase from the scrum.
Off with the boot.
Righto, Jack.
Actually, that doesn't make any sense because I've got Junior Polo first try.
So Zach,
Maybe we can't get goals.
Zach Lomax misses all these goals.
Yeah, I'm going to look Addo Carr for double. So I withdraw the hat trick. Addo Carr for double. So.
All right, Jack.
I've got full-time score, Parra, 22-14. First try scorer, I've got Isaiah Iongi. And my bold prediction is that Sean Lane finishes with 1 try. And he is the final pass on the inside for Iongi to score the first try after hitting a tasty little hole.
Tasty little hole.
Tasty little hole.
Lane to hit a tasty little hole. Okay.
I need that written. Lane to hit a tasty little hole back on the inside to Isaiah under the sticks. You heard it here. I've got my optimism is sky high right now.
Like Rianne said, Sean Lane to be puffed in a tasty little hole, that's for sure. All right, Troy.
Okay, well, I'll look. It depends on whether you're in a tipping competition or not. Tipping competition, you tip Manly, but on the podcast, I'll tip Parramatta. I'll say 24-16. I will say my old mate Will Penasini first try scorer, and a bold prediction will be that the 2 back rowers will run for a combined 200 meters plus.
What?
Yeah.
Who?
The back row, the 2 back rowers, starting back rowers.
Starting back rows.
That's
Starting.
I know they ran for 70 last week, but in wet conditions, 200 is not enough.
Okay, 250 then.
Higher.
Oh, 250 is fair.
A million.
250 from what? 20 runs.
Okay, I'll allow a multi. 20 runs into 250. All right. 20 plus runs into 250.
Yeah.
All right, we've got a few questions. Thanks, Andy. Glad you found love, mate. Last time we knew you were looking for it. So, all right, let's get to some of these. Fuck, I've got to unstar all the other questions. I can't scroll down again. Producer Matt, help. All right, I like this one. Do you believe Riles will drop Brown when Moses comes back and replaces him with Hawkins? Mika was also thinking the same.
No.
No, I reckon.
First of all,
To be honest, I reckon.
this Mika bloke's a fucking idiot. But secondly, I think, yeah, you're right. I think this will happen. I think if Dylan has got until Mitch comes back, which he is on track for round 7 against the Tigers on Easter Monday, if Dylan hasn't lifted his game by then and Hawkins continues to play as well, Mitch will come in and Hawkins will go to 6. Because without a doubt, no doubt that will happen. So Dylan has till then to get his shit together with whatever's going on. Well, Matty, this one's directed for you. Do you think Cartwright has played his last game for us?
Yes.
I have a feeling he's just not in Riles' plans.
Yes. Maybe
Is that
he
another
might
one of our
lead
international
Rhinos in the
viewers?
next couple of weeks.
How does that make you feel, Matt?
I'm not the happiest he's not playing, but I understand because it's a past thing with his attitude at other clubs. Hence why he's not at other clubs anymore. It's always been an attitude thing when new coaches come in.
Would you have a Cardi party when he leaves?
No.
What does that involve, Troy?
Him and Matto sitting in the corner.
Him and Matto posing in front of a mirror with Troy in the back.
All right, I'm going to address this. We're not being nice just because it's a Parra podcast and sponsor one. We just can't tip against our team.
We get plugged. It's raining, Crystal. It's raining.
Can I just
65% chance of rain.
Hey, can I just? That is my missus.
Yeah, we know.
Sorry.
We know.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, babe, it's because we can't go into Woolies with Coles bags.
This again.
So we can't tip on a Parra podcast against
Hayden did.
Hayden always tips against Parra.
I tipped
Hayden's the exception, not the rule.
Parramatta against the Tigers, and they couldn't even win that. So until they prove me otherwise.
I know we look for some losty things, but if anyone works for Mars, can we get some fucking Snickers for Hayden? He needs a Snickers. He is not happy this week. All right.
Optimism is a wonderful thing.
Hayden needs Snickers.
Galvin.
Matt needs a sponsorship with either Woolworths or Coles. Whoever wants to go to him, he'll be loyal to one of his. Let's all have a pick. I'm taking Galvin. I do see Wishart being a bit more flexible. If you sign him as a 5'8" and one of these young players develops, he can move. I just like Galvin's a lot younger. Like Wishart's 25. Galvin's 19. It's a no-brainer. Matt?
Do I need to even answer this? Everyone knows my thoughts.
Yeah, it's
He
true.
spoke to his manager last week.
Hayden?
And Troy was there when I did, so...
Galvin.
Jason? Polesi?
I love Galvin, but Wishart is just too tempting to play anything and anywhere and do everything.
Years, didn't he?
Isn't he available to negotiate 1 November?
Yeah, they're all 2027 available. They're off contract in the 26. Yeah. Jack?
Galvin. I'm so high on that man. I would love to see him back in the blue and gold.
Troy?
You'd love to see the...
Thanks, Ben, for joining us, mate. It's always good to be late than early, that's for sure. And I'm with you, Eamon. I would rather trust you coming through as our future 5'8" and spend the money we got. We do it on the forward.
Josh Lynn?
I think we look further down. Like, I rate those SG ball guys very rare, very highly. So what I'm trying to say is the rarity of the amount of talent we have in that team we haven't seen for a long time. They're sitting first SG ball. It's a big step. Quite a few of them will go to Jersey Flag and end the year in New South Wales Cup. So I'm all for that. If you've got 3 or 4 of them finish here in New South Wales Cup, they do pre-season with first grade next year. Some of them could be ready to go. That's pretty much it.
Where has friend of the show, Shannon Cooney, been tonight? This has been the first podcast in 5 years that Troy hasn't been called Santa.
He's probably selling his real estate.
It's making me angry. I want to see some Santa comments.
I can only assume it's because we're clashing with League of Inches now and League of Inches on the same time. So maybe Shannon's over there. Just an assumption.
Ooh, I'll just have to check that out, I think.
I was going to say, let's text him. He can't be a sponsor of Troy's podcast and not tune in. He's probably selling too many houses.
True. All right, guys. Payne. I fucking love this, Josh. I'm 100% for this.
Yeah.
I have presented this as an option. We're going to have a lot of money.
Lane, everyone for Payne Haas.
Well, if we back our youth, we can get Haas on a long-term deal. Like, I'm not saying he's going to leave. Like, Brisbane's perfect for him. All his family's in Grafton Prison. It's nice and close. But we can see if we can get him moved to Silverwater, sign him on a deal, it's huge for us. I'd love to have Payne Haas at the club. I think he's exactly what we need. And you look through what's available for next year, there's not a lot of talent ready for next year.
How much would you pay him?
What he wants.
Oh, you'd have to give him a lot.
1.5?
I'd be...
No.
I would...
960.
I'll give him 1.1. straight up.
Yeah, he'd
I'd,
have to be.
I'd give him
he'd
over
have
a
to be
mil.
1.1. Yeah, he'd have to
Well,
be
1.15 year deal.
so Galvin's Tigers are paying Galvin like what 250.
250 this year, 350.
We get him for 7. Then
850.
we'll be
We get him for 800.
850. Yeah.
And if
We're talking about Haas.
And then
No,
we're
we're
talking
not
about
that.
we're balancing Galvin and Haas here in the contracts. All
Yeah.
right.
that's 1.9 spent on two
I,
players.
I told Galvin's manager on the weekend, do whatever it takes to get the deal done. So hopefully he listens. Yeah.
But bring Galvin and De Silva as a package deal.
They're a package deal. They've got different managers, but they
Yeah.
love each other and want to be playing with each other. So,
Yeah.
The Silver's a gun.
yeah. And I think, sadly, Joey Lustig will be moved on and Brendan Hands will be moved on. We know with De Silva and Riley Smith, some good young hookers. And we've got, obviously, Lachlan Konecas coming through as well. So, we don't need those other players tied up. And it's sad, but we are in a rebuild and we are going to see some of our favourite and some of our non-favourite players go in the next couple of years. And that's what a rebuild's all about. And look, it might suck. We might struggle for a bit. Better times might be a little bit away, but it's what you got to do. Like, we got to stick with this youth and back this youth like we're doing. We went through this in, I guess, 2012, 13, 11. 2014, we started to see some results.
Have a 5-year plan.
But no, we started to see results, though. But we didn't stick with our youth. And your Chase players, your Ryan Morgans, some of those young players, we gave them the arse and we didn't stick with them because we had to change a coach. In 2014, we missed out in finals by 1 win. 2015, we went downhill. And 2016, we would have played finals if we didn't cheat. So you work it out. We missed finals for a couple of years. We'll miss it this year. We might miss it next year in 2027 if we start to make those signings, bring those players who we're back to where we should be. Anyway, that'll do. That's all we've got time for. We will have the game day show on Sunday. Look, if anyone knows a Manly fan that does a podcast or anything, message the page. Let them know it's done online. They don't have to travel across the bridge to do the podcast.
Hello, sport guys, do one.
I was going to say, I think we know a couple of boys, don't we, Troy?
We'll hit them up.
I've got one in mind. I'll send you a message afterwards.
Yep. We'll be on here Sunday, 10 a.m. for the live podcast. Thanks, guys, and see you next Tuesday.
Go Parra.
Ooh.